This is my follow-up video as to how to install an Apple TV into your car that has a Pioneer AppRadio 2 installed. Now, on my previous video, I showed you how to take an iPhone 5 and connect it to your AppRadio 2 using the HDMI connector directly. Now I'm going to show you how to use a combination of an Apple TV and a small Wi-Fi router. This happens to be a very nice small unit from a company called CNET, and I'll show you on the graph a little bit more about what we have on that. Essentially, all you need to do is connect this unit to power in the car. The nice thing about this particular unit is that it has a micro USB connector on the back, which is just looking for 12 volts, and I happen to have it connected into the factory Pioneer cable that has a USB connector on it as well. So powering this straight from the Pioneer adapter cable that has the 30-pin connector on the old iPhone, you can power it straight off of that, which is the beauty of this unit besides its size. Normally, of course, you would want to put this unit somewhere behind the dash where it's not exposed. There's no reason to keep it outside at all. It has pretty good range with this antenna on it. The Apple TV, likewise, can be hidden. We don't need to actually control it. It's perfect for a mobile device because there's no moving parts in it, so you can put it pretty much any place. All you have to do is connect the network cable from the Apple TV to your Wi-Fi unit, your router. The HDMI cable connects to the back of the head unit. There's an HDMI connector on the back of that, as we showed before. And on this one, the power adapter is built inside, so we have to take the standard AC adapter here, and I happen to be using an APC inverter here. There's a lot of different inverters on the internet that you can buy. This one happens to be about $50, but I've seen them on there for closer to $20. And it's a very low wattage unit, so you don't need much. This plugs into your your cigarette lighter down here and provides all the power you need for this unit. Now, normally, what you would want to do if you're going to hide the Apple TV, you can also take the other end of this inverter and either strip the wire off and just clip it to 12 volts positive and negative somewhere behind the dash, or you can actually get a cigarette lighter receptacle for about $5 from your auto parts store and connect the 12 volt positive and negative to that and just plug this in there if you don't want to strip out the wire that comes with the inverter. So in functioning, I'm going to have a chart up that shows you how to do the connections on here. But to show you how this works, it's actually pretty successful. There is one downside to it, which I'll point out when I get there. What you do on your phone, when you get in the car and you start up, these things are powered up, you're going to take your iPhone and you're going to connect it to this particular Wi-Fi unit down here, the router, which if I go into settings and Wi-Fi, and you'll come up with, I called it Dude, Where's My Car? Those of you familiar with the old movie. Anyway, that's the name of this particular Wi-Fi router down here. So I've got that connected to that. Now what I'm going to do is go back over to here, and you can choose the Apple TV. So first you connect to the router. Secondly, you connect to the Apple TV. And you can do that from right here. There's a little icon. And in here I have the one called, we're in a Jeep right now, so I just called my Apple TV Jeep. And you check on that, and there's a checkbox next to it. So we're right now connected to the Apple TV. Now what we can do if we want to, like I said before, I'm a fan of podcasts. So we'll go in here. You notice the Apple TV is currently on and displaying the screensaver mode. But let's go to a podcast here. And we'll pick this one here.
It doesn't really bother me at all. I mean, the fact that it doesn't have retina doesn't bother me.
And you'll see it looks perfect again.
what I do
we're now
find
streaming.
is I'm very resistant now to taking my other iPad.
Turn that down a little. We're now streaming through the Apple TV directly to our head unit, and it's nice because it's hands-free. You don't have to worry about anything. You can do this from outside the car and do it literally from anywhere. So podcasts work very well.
Doesn't really bother me. I mean, I read it just as easily.
Okay, now let's say we want to listen to our music here. What I can do is shut this off, and I can actually take it. Take it back to the iPhone here just to show you this. So what we can do here is we'll take our phone and we can do what's called, there we go. We can do what's called mirroring from the phone to the head unit. And what that is, as you see, we've chosen Jeep. And now we're going to pick the option below here that says mirroring. Now whatever's on this screen appears over here. So if we want to listen to our music, this is kind of nice because now we have the album flow covers here. So we can pick our music straight off of this. And let's just pick anything here. So we get the album cover art, and eventually when the unit goes into screensaver mode, it'll cover with pictures and moving photos and such too. So this is kind of a nice way to do your music. It's a great interface to use for that. Okay, one of the minor downsides to this combination is that due to the lack of the internet connectivity, it appears that when you go to play a movie that has been downloaded from iTunes or you purchase at the iTunes store, it seems like it wants to, like this is a TV series I had on here. If I click on this, it won't start playing, and apparently it's because it's either due to a DRM check failure or it's trying to prove ownership. In any event, it appears that it's trying to connect to the iTunes store before it starts to play. So it's not going to play a purchased movie on from your iPhone through this because it's not connected to the internet. Now, as we saw in our other video, when I had the HDMI connector connected directly to the head unit, it does play your movies and your TV series and prepaid videos from iTunes. It does, however, play movies that I've created and copied into iTunes and then copied into the iPhone, because what we can do here is this is just a simple video that was created and copied into iTunes and then into the iPhone. So if you have videos that are not DRM, they do play on here, and they play just fine. So anything that you can strip from a DVD, for example, or just a regular video, they will play on here just fine. So let's, one other downside, of course, is that due to the fact that you lost your internet connectivity, you also won't be able to do turn-by-turn navigation. So your maps don't properly load up. They will find you in GPS, but you can't continue to load your maps or do a 3D view or get live traffic or anything because you're now on a isolated network just to the little router that we have here. So that is a little bit of a drawback. Now I'd quickly like to show you how to make this work with an iPad, which is the same thing as your iPhone essentially. I have here a 4th generation iPad. You can do this with 2nd or 3rd generation as well. It just has to support AirPlay. So what we'll do is connect this up to our internal router here, and it's called Dude, Where's My Car? So now we're going to go down to connect it to the Apple TV. And I'm going to select this down here, go here, and this one called Jeep. This is the name of our Apple TV. And I'll show you how mirroring works here. We'll go on that, and you'll see on the screen we're now mirroring our iPad through the Apple TV wirelessly through AirPlay. If I want to play music, I can just go through this, pick out a song, and off it goes. So you can play all your music from your iPad here as you like. We can also watch again our podcasts, and our video podcast will play normally. Get a small spinning wheel for a moment.
Did you get the table with it? I didn't get the table. I got what they call a nest. Yeah. So this is a grill, folks.
So as you can see, the podcasts fill the screen, and they play very well through this. They fill up the screen. They look good. They sound great coming through your car stereo, and of course it's wireless, and that's the beauty of this whole thing. We do have the continued downside where we cannot play purchased movies that require DRM, and because some of those try to contact the iTunes store before they play, and they will fail on play. That and the lack of the Maps app are the two downsides to this. But if you can get around that and you want to use it for music, podcasts, or homemade videos, you can even play games on here if you so desire. And otherwise, it works quite well. I'm going to show you now a chart that compares the price structure between connecting your head unit directly to your iPhone or your iPad through an HDMI cable versus utilizing this setup with your Apple TV and your router. Lastly, I'd like to show you why it is you can conceal your Apple TV behind the dash or somewhere out of sight and still be able to control the unit in case you wanted to do settings changes on it. Normally, this Apple TV has to be exposed to the front so that you can use the infrared remote that comes with it. However, there is a remote app that comes on iOS that allows you to control your Apple TV through AirPlay. And on here, I'll show you it's just called Remote. And as you can see, my Apple TV in here comes up. And from this, I can select using gestures. And you'll see that now, as I move my finger over this, I can tap it, and we can change settings on the screen using our Apple device. Whether it's an iPhone or an iPad, it doesn't matter. It works just the same. It allows you to control the settings inside of the Apple TV. So that's why you don't need the remote that comes with the Apple TV in order to configure the device or change the configuration after it's been in. Like if you wanted to set the different times for sleeping or your time zone changes if you're traveling. There's a lot of different things in here you can do, but you can do it simply through your iOS device without having to directly see the Apple TV. That concludes our video, and I hope that you can now see the differences between hooking up your iPhone 5 and or your iPad to the Pioneer AppRadio 2 head unit, either through a direct connected HDMI cable or to do it wirelessly through your Apple TV. If you have any questions about how to do this, please enter them in the comments section under the YouTube video. Thank you very much for watching.